Hi, this is Miss Huval. The purpose of this video is to take you through DGP Monday's work, the parts of speech. It's to help you recognize the parts of speech so you can complete your DGP. So let's get started. The parts of speech are what we do on Monday. These are the things you've been learning since you were in grade school. Verbs, which are action words, nouns, which are persons, places, and things, pronouns, which take the place of nouns. You can see there some examples. Prepositions, little words that show the relationships between things, lots of spatial relationships, in, to, of, for, with, etc. Adjectives, which tell about nouns. Adverbs, which tell about verbs and other adverbs. Conjunctions, you're probably familiar with fanboys. The conjunctions are for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. So fanboys is a good way to remember them. Interjections, like oh, well, wow, ouch. Subordinators, which is a special class of words that show that a dependent clause is coming. Subordinators are words like relative pronouns, noun clause identifiers, and subordinating conjunctions. So I'm going to take you through each of these parts of speech separately so that you can have your DGP out and it'll help you be able to find them. We'll start with verbs. You always begin your DGP looking for verbs. They are the keys to unlocking and understanding sentences. So most verbs are action verbs. They're easy to spot because they show and do. So you look at the sentence and you ask yourself, what in this sentence could I do? These are most likely going to be your verbs. Helping verbs are listed here. Words like can, could, may, are, had, has, and will. We count those as verbs as well. All forms of be are verbs, even though they don't seem to show an action at all. Am, is, are, was, were, be, being, and been. Linking verbs also don't show action, but are still verbs. Okay? So once you find the verb, you're ready to move on to nouns. Okay? Nouns are persons, places, and things. Numbers are nouns. Dates are nouns. The names of people and things are nouns. Those we call proper nouns. So here's some tips for finding nouns. Ask yourself, which of these words are persons, places, or things? Which of these words give things their names? All right, once you find the nouns, you're ready to move on to the pronouns. Pronouns, most often you'll find personal pronouns, I, you, he, she, they, him, her, etc. But there are lots of other words that are pronouns, things like anything, somebody, one, any, this, that, own, mine, his, and yours. There's a complete list on your DGP cheat sheet. All right, prepositions. Now these are interesting little category of words. They show spatial relationships and other relationships. When I was a girl, we learned it this way. Anything a bunny can do to a log. Over, under, to, from, by, etc. So a bunny can be over a log, under a log. He can go to a log, run from a log, be by a log. He could go across the log, he could be beneath the log, between two logs, etc., etc. So that's a preposition. Here, there's a complete list here. You can click this and find it, and I've got a bunch listed for you here. Some of them, your most common ones, don't necessarily go with the bunny and the log, but that's a good general rule. Okay, next we're looking at adjectives and adverbs. Important to notice that the difference between an adjective and an adverb is what it modifies or tells about. Okay, adjectives can only tell about nouns and pronouns. That's it. It can come before the noun, it can come after the noun, but it can only tell about a noun. You see here how one tells about day, beautiful tells about mess, and perfect tells about afternoon. Day, mess, and afternoon are nouns. One, beautiful, and perfect are all adjectives. So that's pretty straightforward. Adverbs can get a little confusing because they can modify a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. Sometimes they end in ly, but not always. Negatives like not and never, those are always adverbs. So, an adverb can modify a verb. You run quickly. Run is your verb. Quickly is your adverb. Never forget. Forget is your verb. Never is your adverb, which modifies forget. It can modify an adjective. You can be an extremely happy man. Here, extremely doesn't tell about man, but extremely tells about happy. So only an adverb can modify an adjective. If it looks like an adjective is telling about another adjective, most likely it's an adverb. Okay? Another thing that adverbs can do is tell about another adverb. Believe very strongly. Believe is your verb. Strongly is an adverb telling about believe. Very tells about strongly. So, adjectives are going to tell about nouns. Adverbs can tell about verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. Now, conjunctions is our next category. The most common conjunctions you'll see are the fanboys. And if you can remember fanboys and learn that they are for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so, it's going to help you out a lot. Conjunctions are an extremely important part of speech when it comes to sentence structure. These are also conjunctions, these correlative conjunctions, both, and, either, or, neither, nor, etc. And you have a complete list of conjunctions on your cheat sheet, so you can always look there too. All right, interjections don't occur that often, but they're those words that show excitement or emotion. I have several listed for you here. Subordinators are something you really, really need to pay attention to because they have the power to turn an independent clause into a dependent clause. Here's a list. These are subordinating conjunctions. These will alert you that an adverbial clause is coming up. These are for adjectival and noun clauses. All right? So you'll notice that they look like they could possibly be prepositions, some of them. And you'll be able to tell the difference because if it's going to be a subordinator, it'll be followed by a subject and a verb. Whereas if it's a preposition, it'll only be followed by a noun, an object of the preposition. All right, guys, that's the parts of speech. Hope this was helpful.